Korea, Director of Sales and Training with Isle Dogs, and we're here with Leo, and we're going to give Leo a bath today with our new Everyday Isle of Dogs products. And this is Kato, Leo's mum, and today we're going to go through the whole routine from start to finish on bathing Leo. Okay, now before we bath the dog, we should always go through and just brush through the coat. So there's many different types of brushes that you can use. This is a slicker brush. This is really good for actually brushing through all of these the longer hairs. It's going to help. If you brush everything out, it makes it easier to sort of break off any excess dirt, as well as open the coat so it's easier for the products to penetrate. You can also use a comb as well in some of these longer areas, and that will also help to go through. Some people like to use a rubber mitt, which on shorter coated breeds, these tend to work really good for getting out a lot of the short coat when they're shedding.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, good on your back coat, but not necessarily on any of the longer furnishings. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to go through and we're going to wet Leo down.
Is it like a person is just a nice warm water
bath? Yeah,
bath?
you want the water typically to be lukewarm. If you have a dog that's blowing all their coat where they're shedding a lot, a little warmer will actually help to open up the pore and help a lot of that loose hair come out as well. So, but typically you want to feel it, and you want it to just be lukewarm, like what you would like in a not hot. So, and then basically you want to work, you start wetting down the coat, getting right down to the skin.
How do I avoid getting water in his ears?
Well, there are a couple things you can do. You can actually take the ear and you can put a bit of cotton bud in the ear canal, and that will help. Typically on drop-coated breeds, what I like to do is hold the ears down and then just kind of pop my water over the top of the head. The other thing that you can also do is you can take a cloth and you can wet a cloth and then you can wipe it over the face.
And what about their eyes?
Their eyes, I mean, when you're just using water, I mean, if you're putting it over the face, that's fine. Typically they will tend to close their eyes. You have to be a little more careful once you've got shampoo or product on there. But a lot of the time, you know, if you're worried about the face, it's really good if you've got a face washer or something like that, and you can just wet that area and you can work that into that face.
How much shampoo do you start with for a dog?
Well, it depends on what you're doing. I mean, I always like to bathe twice, because the first time you kind of get the dirt out of the coat, and then the second time, you know, you really get it clean. So that's one of the reasons we've developed a shampoo for actually cleaning the coat, and then we have a shampoo depending on what sort of texture you want. So we'll start with this one here, and basically, I mean, I've got a dollop there, maybe the size of a quarter, sort of work it in, get some good coverage on the coat, and then you really want to work that down to the skin. That's what's important. You know, you've got to get it in there, scrub it down, and you want to be able to make sure that you clean the whole length of the coat, just not the top section. You want to give it a try, Kato?
Sure.
So you can do down the front, down his chest. And just really work that into that coat. And like I said, if you need a little more lather, just spritz a little more water. When you're bathing, it's a really good chance for you to go over the whole body. Look for little lumps and bumps, because, you know, dogs develop it. A lot of the time we don't put, you know, our hands on them.
Okay.
So, you know, when you're doing the head, basically what I like to do is just kind of work the shampoo around the face, holding the muzzle, just kind of getting it up in there and watching the eyes.
Because I worry about the eyes.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, a lot of the time, dogs that are regularly bathed kind of get a little bit smart, so they tend to keep their eyes closed. But for those others that don't, you know, you just want to work around those areas. Okay, and now for the rinsing part. This is actually one of the very important parts of bathing, because if you don't get all that soap out, it's going to end up causing dandruff, it's going to end up causing itching and scratching. So you really have to rinse thoroughly. And you're going to have to, you know, work it, feel it with your hands, feel the coat until you feel it's clean. And if you're not sure, rinse it. Watch the water that's running out. Make sure there's no bubbles coming out when you're rinsing.
So just like our hair.
Exactly. And you can feel the difference as to when you still have shampoo in there. And you've got to rinse down to the skin. I like typically to use my fingers and kind of pull the coat up the opposite way, because I feel that it tends to open it up more. And now I can feel what is coming out. And the other thing too is normally work from the top, start rinsing down the coat.
Again, I always worry about the ears and the eyes.
Yeah, you know, with the ears, I mean, with a drop reed, it's a lot easier to do the backs, and then you can kind of block off.
If you were to be skittish, could I use a washcloth for instance?
Yeah, well that's the other thing too. Here we go, up here. Let this down. And this is the other thing. I mean, you could take this and you could basically scrunch this off through here. The biggest place that people tend to miss is right here. And on boys, they tend to be a little bit around their butts as well. Well, boys and girls. And underneath for the boys too. So now that we've done the first bath, we've cleaned the coat, then what normally we would do is follow up with, this is a silky coating shampoo, and this is going to kind of make the coat lay a little flatter, give you a nice shine to the coat. If you wanted something to make his coat full and fluffy, then we would use something from the Lush coating set. But yeah, so and then we'll do another bath with this, and that's just going to help to make the coat lay down nice.
So is this like a conditioner?
No, this is a shampoo, but like I said, I always like to bath twice because it really gets the hair. It's like if you ever wash your own hair, the second time that you wash it, you know, you really feel that you get it clean. And with these guys, it does make a big difference. Now that we've done the second bath on him, what we're going to do is we're going to condition. And the reason we use the conditioner is because when we use the shampoo, it basically opens up the hair shaft. So we need a conditioner to close that shaft down and keep that moisture in. So especially with house dogs, with the winter time, with heating and with cooling, it can dry the coats out a lot. Typically, you're just going to put this on, you're going to work it into the coat, and especially into these longer areas, because this is going to help with detangling and all that with the hair. Just kind of work it in good.
And how often do you recommend bathing the dog?
You know what? It's really, I mean, my guys, I like to bathe them once a week, and there's nothing wrong with that. And you know, you look at most of your breeders and your dog show people, they'll bathe their dogs weekly, and they don't have the issues, but they use good quality products. So I think that's what the important part is. A clean dog is a healthy dog. The one thing you need to watch, I don't know if you noticed before, but you know, up under the collar when you're bathing, because what happens is a lot of the time, you know, people wash all the way around it. So you can do that by pulling it down, shampooing the top, and then grabbing hold of the collar, lifting it right up under the neck, so then you've got this very clean again. So you want to slide it up, do all this, and slide it down, and do all that. And then we're just going to start rinsing our conditioner out. For drying, now we've got everything rinsed out, we want to dry them off. These are great, these are a chamois, and they pull a lot of the water out of the coat. And you just basically want to rub them down.
And it's really important to get their ears, isn't it?
Yeah, you want to clean everything out of there. Make sure that everything around the ears, especially if you're going to be blow drying the dog afterwards, makes it a lot easier the more water that you can get out of the coat now. For your longer hair, you don't want to be like this. Typically you grab hold of it and you'll scrunch it.
Okay.
And that will actually, that way you're not going to put any extra knots in the coat. Okay, now that we've got him all dried off, what we're going to do is just go through and brush this coat. Make sure that we've got all the knots and the tangles out. And it should be quite easy to sort of brush through it.
And that's a better brush for this
You know what? There's a couple of different. Like I said, we can use these on shorter coat. This is fine. You can use a pin brush as well. But typically, where you have feathering and this longer coat, I typically just like to go through with a slipper. Now we're going to dry, and typically when you've got a coat, you want the coat to lay down. You want to blow the same way that you want the coat to lay. So if you're blowing it up this way, it's not gonna lay as flat.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So if you're wanting all this to go down, then we'll basically work with the blower and we'll blow the coat down this way, and then down the back. And you want to blow it the same way, and that also helps by blowing it the same way as the coat. It helps to shoot the water out the coat because it travels down along the coat. This is a brush spray, and what this does is helps with static, with flyaway, and it's also nice to put through the coat as you're blowing it. So we're just going to do a couple of light mists. What this will help, it will help, maybe not with, when you get dogs that have a fuller, longer coat, it helps sort of with brushing out and everything like this, but this gives a little more of a silky feel, helps with the static, sort of helps with the flyaway that you sometimes get. I'm just going to do a light little finishing mist and then just basically go through, brush it into the coat.
It does look beautiful. It smells great.
Then we're going to brush all these featherings out and furnishings.
I think you should go back in the ring.
And it's all done. Hey, do you feel good? Do you feel sexy? Oh, go out for a good date tonight.
He certainly seems happy.
He's a good boy. He's a very good boy. So do you notice any difference?
Oh, he's just silky and smooth, and actually his liver coloring looks, it's like velvet.
Yeah. You get a nice shine, and that will tend to make it look richer and deeper. And the conditioner has a lot to do with that as well.
And how long will that last?
Well, it depends on how regularly you're bathing. I mean, it's like your own hair. You wash it, and then after a period of time, it starts to lose its luster and its shine. But he's going to smell and look good for some time yet. So, yeah.
He certainly seems happy with himself.
He does, he does. And that had to do with the shampoo too, because we use the silky products on his coat, which tend to give it more of a silkier and a softer feel. So we use the clean coating shampoo just to get him really clean, get a lot of the dirt and grit off. And then we follow it up with the silky coating shampoo and then the conditioner. And then the brush spray. And this brush spray, you can actually use this during the week, and that will actually little spritz into the coat, brush through the coat. It's going to help to release out a lot of the dirt. Okay. And it's also going to help to freshen the coat and keep a nice fragrance in there as well. So, yeah. But no, he's done good.
Well, he looks fabulous.
Yeah. Typically after a bath too, you may notice a little bit of shedding. That's quite normal. Don't worry about that. But the more frequently that you bathe, the more you get out a lot of that dead coat and the less shedding you tend to have. So if he hasn't been bathed, in a little while, it has loosened up some of that. The drying period and brushing will help. The more often that you brush, you're going to pull out a lot of that dead coat. I mean, it's like people, we shed hair consistently. Dogs do the same thing. They just typically, some dogs will blow their coat a little more often. So, yeah.
Well, these are great products because he looks terrific.
Well, thank you. And he smells good too, eh?
Will you share with me?